Welcome to Work Life by Design. I'm your host, Mel Marsden. As a passionate entrepreneur with a desire to create places where people and business thrive, I hope to inspire you to find your place at work and in life so you can live a life by design. You'll hear stories of transformation, exploring everything from organisational psychology to brand, and identifying opportunities in your workplace and your life to inspire your human potential. So, let's get started. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Work Life by Design. Now, one of my favourite quotes is only shine your light on the things that you want to grow. And I guess you could say this has become a bit of a mantra for me. It reminds me that where I put my attention, my energy flows. And if I want to be really intentional and I want to make the most of the precious time that I have, then I should in fact be really mindful about where I direct it. So often we can focus on the bad stuff, and what happens then is we only start to notice more of it. We're sending ourselves into this downward spiral. But when we shine our light on the amazing things that bring us joy, and we start to notice how much more wonderful things are that are in your life, we see different opportunities that are presenting themselves to us, and we start to notice a very different spring in our step. But to know where to shine your light, you first need to get really clear on what it is that you want to grow. And that is where conscious planning and goal setting come in. So as we start to draw closer to the end of the year, this is a really timely reminder for us to start to shift our attention to the new year that is before us. And in my view, if we're waiting to the new year to start putting in place all of those New Year's resolutions and starting with a fresh attitude, we've really missed an opportunity. Why don't we just start now? Why can't we start making all those shifts and changes right now? Why do we need to wait till January to do it? So today I want to really start to outline a few ways that you can begin to become more intentional about your focus, start setting your goals, and then start taking the steps towards actioning them. So you may have heard some of these phrases before. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. A dream without a plan is just a wish. Now, if we don't take action towards our dreams, they are nothing more than that, a dream, a wish that we will continue to fantasize about but never actually achieve. Now, research has shown that only about 3% of us plan, but those 3% accomplish 5 to 10 times more in their lifetimes than those other 97% of people who don't do any planning at all. And those that have clarity around what they want from their life are much more likely to accomplish their goals than those who leave their life to chance. So there is great power in planning. But the question I hear many people ask is, but how do I know what I'm planning for? What is it that I actually want to do? How do I go about setting these goals? What is this whole thing about? Now, for me, I find that the best way to get started is to actually take a look back over the last 12 months. I think about, well, what did I achieve? What did I want to do that I didn't ever really quite find the time for? What steps have I taken towards my big, hairy, audacious goal? And what are the next steps that I need to take to see that to becoming a reality? How am I actually showing up in each and every area of my life? Is it the way I want to be showing up? And what change do I need to do, or would I like to see me showing up in a way that actually makes me feel more fulfilled or happier or more joyous in those aspects of my life? And so all of these questions really start to lead me down a path of identifying what is actually important to me and where I want to see my life grow and evolve in the next 12 months. So I also like to set myself a word for the year, something that I learned from Ali Hill, and there's a previous podcast episode with her if you're keen to hear more. But she has this beautiful saying that says, your intention sets your attention. And so when we have our intention set in our mind, it supports us in focusing our attention. And when our attention is drawn to the things that really align with our intention, we start to notice those new opportunities. We see new possibilities, and we can start to take steps that bring us closer to that intention. We're taking that aligned forward action. So I want you to take a moment and really reflect on the year that you've had, where you would like to see that change or progress that you'd like to make. Set yourself an intention, and then you can start to set some goals to support you in taking those forward steps. Now, Goal setting is another big thing that I hear a lot of people get very scared about. And they're scared about setting goals because they're worried about not achieving them. But it's again another reframe in your mind. Your goals are there to give you something to aspire towards, to help you move towards creating that vision that you have for your life. They're interim milestones along a bigger journey. So there's a couple of myths that I want to bust for you today around goal setting and help you reframe this in a way that actually then works for you and sets you up to be able to achieve those things that you want from your life. Now, the first myth that I hear all the time is that goals have to be SMART. Now, SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're relevant, and they're time-bound. That's what SMART stands for. SMART goals are really great for business because we have KPIs, we have metrics, we have things that we have to achieve. But SMART goals are not actually always going to be particularly relevant when we're talking about life goals. It's not actually something that we can use for all our goals. And so what I want you to think about is that when we're thinking about our long-term goals, those things that we want to be doing in the future or things that are more emotionally connected, the things that we want to feel, then SMART goals don't really work for us. So not every goal has to be a SMART goal. So think about what goals can be SMART goals, and they're usually metric driven, and what are emotional goals and are more feeling driven. And then start to work through that and identify what kind of goals you're actually setting. Thanks for tuning in today. This season is all about designing a work life you love, but you can't achieve this if you don't know what it is that you want from your life and from your work. So to help you with this, I've created a free downloadable to get you on track. This little downloadable is my toolkit to clarifying your purpose and uncovering your values. Two things that I like to think of as setting my North Star, the place that I am heading to. You can grab this at melissamarsden.com.au/North Star. Now, let's get back to the episode. Now, the next myth that I've heard is that there is no point in having goals. We can't control the future, and particularly in the environment that we've been living in, so much is out of our control. Why do I even put in a goal in place because I can't achieve it? This is the other thing. Our goals have had to change, and particularly around travel. We haven't been able to travel because border closures, lockdowns, everything else that's gone with that. So we need to be flexible in our goals, but we also need to have something to focus on, something that we can look forward to in the future. So, think about how you're setting your goals and then think about what is the underlying thing that was actually bringing you joy about that goal. So let's say you wanted to be able to travel more, but you haven't been able to. What is it about travel that actually excites you? Is it the act of planning it? Is it the experiences and the adventures that you got to go on? Is it spending time with your family? Is it spending time on your own? What is the actual action and activity and the feeling that you enjoy that underpins that act? And focus on that and then reframe your goals in a way that you can then actually achieve that. So if it's about the adventure of travel, then maybe it's about, well, what can I do locally and that is accessible to me that I would feel really good about? It would actually fulfill that sense of adventure that I'm actually looking for. So try and understand what it is that sits underneath your goal and how you can then achieve that. Now, the third one is, if I don't achieve my goals, then I am a failure. This is one I hear a lot. People are very concerned about not achieving their goals, what other people will think of them. I want to just let you know that not achieving your goals does not make you a failure, because even though you may not have achieved the actual outcome of your goal, you will most definitely have taken steps towards achieving that goal. And maybe it's taken you longer than you had hoped, but no doubt you will have been making progress. So having that goal has given you something to focus on. It has set your intention. It has enabled you to take steps forward. So not achieving them is not a failure. It's just a progress. Now, the last one is around goal setting not being about what we want. Now, so often we set our goals around the thing that we want to do, but it's actually about how we want to feel and who we want to be. We often think about goals as something we want to have. So, for example, many New Year's resolutions is, I want to lose weight and I want to be healthier. So that's often a goal that we set in January. Well, if it's not you, it's definitely me. But what it is we need to be looking at is, why do we want to achieve that goal? And it's often because of how we want to feel. It's not about the fact that we technically want to lose weight, but it might be that I want more energy. I want to feel bouncier. I want more self-confidence. So when we focus on how we actually want to feel, then that means that we need to actually shift some mindset things around who we want to be. And as I said, this is a big mindset shift. If I want to be someone who's healthier because I want to feel more self-confident and I want to feel bouncier, then I need to be someone who sees my health and my well-being as a priority. And I need to start putting myself first. Now that's a really big shift from I want to lose 5 kilos. It's about completely reframing what losing that 5 kilos would actually mean to me. How would that make me feel? And who do I need to be to actually see that through to fruition? Now, this biggest shift came to me because I often found that when I was setting goals, they were based on externally motivating factors. So for example, I was told that I needed to do something for my business because it would support my growth. But when I wasn't actually connected to that goal, I wasn't connected to that outcome, there was very little intrinsic motivation for me to see it through. I lost enthusiasm for it. I lost the motivation. It didn't become a priority for me because I wasn't truly connected to seeing that goal through. But when you can think about why you want to see that goal through, why is it going to matter to you? Why would you actually want to see that goal through? Then you can actually start to think about how achieving that goal is going to make you feel. What is it going to be like working towards that goal? Because the majority of the time that we're going to be spending on this journey towards achieving our goals is exactly that, on the journey. And if we're not enjoying the journey, then what's the point? There really is no point in pursuing that goal if we're not going to enjoy the process. So that's why I completely reframed my idea of goal setting. And I'm going to share it with you now because I think that goals should be something that we enjoy fulfilling. It's not just the outcome that we enjoy achieving, but it's the process of getting there. And this process is the one that I teach in the Live a Life by Design experience. And I do this based around the reflections that I've had from looking at those various areas of my life. And then I go through and I answer these 4 questions. Now, the first question is, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel in this particular area of my life? Now, I've gone through and I've looked at all of those different aspects of my life and I'm reflecting on that and going, what do I want to feel in this particular area of my life? The next one is, what do I want to experience? So what do I want to change? Do I want to achieve? Do I want to create in that area of my life? Another way of thinking about this is, what do I want to have? Or what would I want to embody? Like, what is that feeling and that process and that experience that I would like to have as a result of going through this process? And the third one is, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to feel the way I want to feel? What are 3 behaviors that I would need to embrace in order to move towards that reality? And then finally, who do I need to be? Who do I need to be in order to see this become a reality? What does this person look like? Never before have we collectively experienced such change on a global scale. The pandemic, whilst on one hand has challenged us in ways that previously we could have only imagined, on the other, it has opened the doors to incredible opportunity. The opportunity to redesign our work lives in a way that works for us. An opportunity to disrupt, reset, and recreate our new normal. And to help you on this journey, I am so excited to bring to you the Work Life Lounge. This is your VIP pass to accessing some of the greatest thought leaders in our world of work. So often we are told what we need to do and why we need to do it, but we are often left wondering, but how? How do I make the changes that I need to? And that's where the Work Life Lounge is here to support you, to guide you step by step through the how, to take back control and design your work life on your own terms. And for the next 3 months, you can have an Access All Areas VIP pass to the lounge, thank you to the sponsorship of Community. Committed to their purpose of fostering the creation of communities where people feel connected, Community is on a mission to ensure that we all emerge stronger together, that we consciously create our work lives on purpose as we head into 2022. Now, there are only 100 seats available under this incredible sponsorship, so to claim your seat in the lounge, head over to melissamarsden.com.au/work-life lounge for more details. I can't wait to see you in the lounge. Now, let's get back to the episode. So once I've gone through and I've answered those 4 questions, and I do that across all those aspects of my life, I close out each of those aspects of my life by choosing a word that I feel represents or resonates this aspiration that I have, and I use that to focus my attention. So once I've got all of these aspects of my life mapped out, I take a look at them and I go, well, what are the top priorities for me? Where do I really want to see the most amount of change in my life? Where do I want to see the most amount of growth? And so then I start to look at it and I go, well, I'm going to pick no more than 5 goals to focus on for the year ahead. And that's when I can really start my planning, because then I have got my focus set. I know where I'm driving my attention for the year ahead, and I'm not splitting it too thin by not taking on more than 5 goals. 3 to 5 is usually a pretty good number, because if you start to do more than that, you're not really going to do anything well because your energy is spread too thinly, your attention's spread too thinly, and you're not really giving it the focus and attention that you need to. So once I have my 5 goals, no more than 5, I can then start planning. And I do that by setting up a 90-day action plan. And I take those 5 big rocks, those 5 big goals, and I start to look at what actions do I need to take in the next 90 days to start to see me move towards achieving that goal. And I break them down into little tasks. And then I start to think about, well, what can I do each and every week to move me towards that goal so that by the end of the 90 days, I've achieved that interim milestone. So goal setting and planning go hand in hand, but you need to know where you're putting your intentions. Where are you setting your attention? Where are you going to shine your light so that you know you're focusing on the right things to grow? And I want to encourage you to start now. Don't wait till January to go and dive into this. You can do this right now. This is something you can do every quarter. You don't need to wait till January. So I'd love to know what you're going to go and focus on, where you're going to set your intention, what word you're going to choose to set your focus for the year ahead, and go dive into that planning and get yourself set up for 2022. And do it with feeling and do it with intention, because your goals are there to step you forward in life, to inspire you to take the action that you want to take and ensure that you're enjoying the life that you're living, not just plodding through trying to hit one goal after another. So go enjoy yourself, reflect on the year that you've had, and set yourself up for the year ahead. And I look forward to chatting with you again next week. Thank you for joining me for Work Life by Design. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love you to rate, review, or subscribe, or all 3 in iTunes, and share it with your friends so we can continue to build this community. I would love to hear from you. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions, you can connect with me on Instagram @Melmar, or send me an email at melissa@melissamarsden.com.au. I hope this episode has given you a few sparks of inspiration so you can design a work life you love.